something happened in Chicago, honey. It was a fight. There was a fight that broke out. Somebody got arrested. I heard somebody else about to be arrested. And you wanted to come on and mention it because I think it has something to do with your organization. I'm not sure. But tell us about the drama that unfolded in Chicago this week.
Well, first things first, again, thank you guys for having me tonight. I am the chair and founder of Chicago Red. Chicago Red is the premier urban MAGA organization that was started on the west side of Chicago after I went to the Young Black Leadership Summit and got red pilled by the President of the United States at the White House. However, whenever you have these political movements, as I've learned from some of my uncles up here, there is a program called COINTELPRO. And what COINTELPRO does is they send people to infiltrate your organization in order to cause it to collapse through a campaign of chaos and confusion. So Chicago Red got started. Then we had this group called Chicago Flips Red. And I was like, this is kind of weird because they came to my meetings, ate my pizza. I'm taking them to rallies. You name it, we sitting on the stage. I'm introducing them to people. And then they, form their own group, which is fine. However, there were a couple of things that kind of stood out to me in the beginning. One of the women told me that she was from Albany, New York, and she helped turn Georgia blue. And if she didn't have her way in Chicago, she would turn Chicago red. So I thought, that's weird because you're not doing this because you're an actual Republican. You're doing this because this is what you do. You are an agent provocateur. And then there was another woman who reached out to me. She's a bodybuilder. She's like, P. Ray, I want to help you work out. You on TV because, as I always say, I got foot surgery, so I gained all this weight. And I went to hang out with her. And then she ended up with them as well. So I get a call from one of my homies at the RNC who says, wait a minute, this lady is a plant. I said, I don't think she's a plant, girl. She was nice. She's like, no. Get that woman from around you as soon as possible. I know what I'm doing. I am calling you. We see what's happening. Well, friends, now we have moved from being at City Hall and people are like, oh my God, P. Ray wants to work with the Democrats and she like Brandon. I live on the west side of Chicago. My mama is a Democrat. Absolutely, I hang with the Democrats. However, now we've moved into a campaign of violence. So we have them being kicked out of City Hall, kicked out of the county building, kicked out the White House, kicked out and arrested at the White House, acting a fool at the inauguration, and now having fights and throwing chairs. So my friend has an event yesterday or day before yesterday. He was planning it out for weeks. He's like, yo, I need you to come to my event. It's going to be a big to-do, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, cool. I'll come to your event. I got an event or I have an appointment at 11. I'll get to your event before 1. So I get to the actual library where it's happening, and as I'm walking to the building, they're walking away from the building. So we cross paths, and I hear the woman saying, and I had him in the headlock, and I was hitting him in the face like boom, 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 boom. So I just looked, I'm like, ugh, how ghetto, and kept going. I walk into the library and they tell me that the event is over. I said, what happened? They said, oh my God, it went down in here. Well, when these people from Flip Red showed up at the event, the guy that was sponsoring it told them, y'all gotta go. Y'all went to Operation Push, called Jesse Jackson and the other elders a bunch of dick eaters, faggot ass niggas. Excuse me, I'm gonna cuss too much on your thing, but they were very hyper disrespectful to Jesse Jackson and the Operation Push movement. Now, whatever you have, whatever issues you may have, with Jesse Jackson, that's your business. A lot of people are saying, oh, a man put his hands on a woman. No, honey, that woman was actually going to be arrested, which I'm going to get to. So I called the guy up and he's talking to me real fast. Long story short, other people who were there said that she put the camera in his face and he knocked the camera down and they proceeded to jump on him, hitting him with chairs, fighting them, biting them, doing all kind of stuff. When the Chicago Police Department came, they were actually going to be arrested because the Chicago police department is well aware of these people and they know that these are paid agitators. Well, one of the women, her husband is a retired police officer. So he rushes down there and properly comes onto the scene and says, no, I don't want my wife arrested. You need to arrest him. So they didn't even take his report. So now they are doing things with the lawyers. There are going to be press conferences, but I want to make it clear to every single person who is watching this, Chicago Flips Red is an agent provocateur organization, and my elders have told me that this is what happened with COINTELPRO in the 60s with Mr. Oliver and rest in peace to the chairman, Fred Hampton. This is what happened to the Vice Lord Nations. This is what happened to the Gangster Disciples. This is what they do to functioning organizations in the city of Chicago. They send outsiders to infiltrate and then cause chaos and make your organization lose validity and what the momentum that they have going. So that's what I want to the group. These are not our people. They are not with us. They know, they meaning everybody in the country knows that the urban MAGA movement is built off of the work that we're doing through Chicago Red. The work that we're doing.
One second. So who is this man here? And what who is he? Is he part of your organization?
Partners with Chicago Red. He is a Republican candidate. He won the nomination for Congress. He obviously did not win, but he's just an elected official. He's the committeeman for his ward, and he was hosting a Republican event in his ward that was well promoted. On the flyer, it had his name on it as the host. So if the host tells you you cannot be at this event, I want you to leave, your response should be to leave. Not, I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going to do nothing. You know, let me get my phone in your face and all this other kind of stuff. Even if you watch the video shows that he knocked the phone out of her hand. The video does not show them hitting him with chairs, doing all kind of craziness, but there are actual eyewitnesses who were there, who saw this. And I heard her say that she was beating them up when I was coming in. So we're going to compile all of that together, and we're going to the Cook County justice system.
1 second. So, but isn't his event public?
It is public, but if here in the city, people throw events all the time. If you go to somebody's event and they don't want you to leave, if they don't want you to be there, you can't be there. Just like they tried to go to Operation Push and Jesse Jackson said you can't come in there. After this event they did with Paul, they went out to Harvey, Illinois, which is a small suburb, and went in there and disrupted their village meeting and got that meeting shut down and everything cleared out. Everywhere they go, they shut down the business that the people are trying to do. They're being chaotic. They're bringing police. And this is what COINTELPRO does. Like literally, I just got off the phone with a man who is one of the major leaders out here on the street. I won't say his organization, but he said, baby, I did 11 years in prison behind some stuff like this. I'm telling you what I'm seeing, and you got to let the people know that this is not what we are doing. And what the people are saying, this is a public library. This was in a private space or a closed room that they reserved for themselves. And again, even if this isn't a public space, if I'm in a reserved room and I say, I don't want you at my event, can you please leave? You leave. The response is not to start a fight. But this is, again, what they do. And if this was just Paul, we would say, okay, Paul. But again, City Hall, the Cook County building, the White House, the inauguration, Operation Push, the city of Harvey, like when does it stop? It will never stop because they don't have a goal. Their goal is to create chaos and their goal is to act like political gangbangers. The Black Republican Party is not for failed gangbangers. Okay, we're not here to gangbang. If you want to gangbang in the city of Chicago, it's plenty of organizations for you to gangbang in. But what we're doing here, this work is so valuable that we must make sure that we don't have outsiders being paid. I'm saying that 3 times because they are definitely being paid to come and destroy what we're building. That's not fair to anybody.
Can you introduce yourself? Because there's a couple of new people that are watching and they're in the chat saying, can she introduce yourself? So reintroduce yourself and let people know who you are and your organization.
I am P. Ray Easley. I am the founder and chair of Chicago Red. I am also the hostess of Black Excellence Hour. I am a Fox News commentator. I am a One American News commentator. I'm a Newsmax commentator. What we are doing here is, and I am a former princess in the Democratic Party here on the west side of Chicago. I left the castle that the Democrats built and just said, I'm going to go build my own kingdom. So I make sure that while I'm doing what I'm doing, my goal is not to tell the secrets of the court. You can't grow up in the castle and leave and tell the secrets of the court. Instead, you build something else so that the people can have choices. So that's what we are doing. We have been very successful in everything that we've done. We've been recognized by the president. We went to the rallies. They sent buses for us. We actually met the president. President Trump pulled me out of the crowd and told me how proud he was of me. I got a standing ovation at another rally. Our goal is to make sure that the American people understand that they are as American as sweet potato pie, not apple pie, sweet potato pie. And as full Americans, everything from sea to shining sea is for us and us first. We cannot align ourselves with this campaign of low self-esteem that the Democrats keep pushing on us. So that's who I am. That's what I do. I do this in real life. I live on the west side of Chicago. I live in a building that my grandparents bought in 1972. So I'm standing on 52 years of property taxes, and that's what fuels my passion to make sure that my city is straight. I focus specifically on the Austin community, on the west side of Chicago. Austin is the blackest, most Negro community in America. It's 85,000 of us in one neighborhood. We're not a town, we're just a neighborhood. And so that makes us very, 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 very country. We're from Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas people. We love each other over here. We work hard. Y'all see Mark Carter out here. He's also from the west side of Chicago. We're doing this not for clout, but for real. And I think that we are seeing more people who are more interested in going viral than actually getting things done. Because if you were actually trying to push policy, then you would know that politics is a game of shaking hands and making friends in order to get the legislative goals you want accomplished. Nothing more, nothing less. But you can't bully people into doing what you want to in this city. It'll never work.
Mm-hmm. I actually had the ladies from the organization on this platform. We were all on here being interviewed, very respectful, so again, they have come on our platform. They have been respectful on my platform. Listen, I don't like to see, and I'm calling it in-house because everyone's from the same city or whatever, but at the same time, I always say this, and I don't care who you are, what organization you're hooked up with. I look at results. If you're a nonprofit, or even if you're for profit, if your organization, especially when it's about politics, I look at results. What is your agenda? Where is your agenda? It should be visible for everybody to see. And what policies are you pushing for the city, local city, to implement, to change, to bring into the fold resources. So I look at results. That's all. And that's what's important. I know you and your organization, y'all have produced results as of recently. And it took a long time just to get that, because your city was bombarded with illegal migrants, and that seemed like that was the top priority for the last 4 years under the Biden administration. So I say all that to say it's a lot of work that needs to be done in sanctuary cities throughout this nation, which is predominantly Black, right? And Black Americans and all Americans, but Black Americans need these resources because they don't have it. They never did have it, or it was taken away, or they always claim there's no funding. There's a lot of resources that Black communities need, and they were overlooked for the illegal. So people need to focus on the business of getting shit done and not just party crashing.
Correct. And that's the thing, one thing that I'm super proud of is the fact that we got the school buses for the children. Like, the city of Chicago just decided we're not busting no more Americans. We only busting the illegals. And we told them, no, this is not okay. Went all on national TV, everywhere we could go to tell them this is not okay. And now the children have buses. We got stop signs done. We stopped the $300 million property tax hike. So again, this is never about clout. The first time that I went viral, I wasn't even going to City Hall. They told me, P. Ray, we put your name in a box. Come on, they pull your name and come on. I went down there to talk about my neighbor who needed to go to rehab because her daughter was murdered. This was never personal. I never went down there and was like, I need. P. Ray, like for instance, I wanted to get a stop sign on my block. I have been trying to get this stop sign for like 10 years. They gave me a lot of pushback. I never went to City Hall and got on the mic like, we need this stop sign right now. You know what I did? I went and I met my alderman at City Hall, gave her a big old hug, told her how nice her outfit looked, and said, now you know I need that stop sign. You know I'm not going to stop till I get it. All right, girl. I went to the transportation meeting. I told her, be sure to bring up my stop sign in that transportation meeting. Okay, and my alderman did that for me because, again, there is a level of decorum and tact that you must have on this political scene. But, again, trying to make yourself seem like you these political gangsters or these political superheroes and you going to come and shout people down and all that stuff, those are just paid agitators. And we've seen this before. This isn't the first time we've had paid agitators in our generation. But now the Republicans have their own paid agitators in these people, and they are seriously trying to delegitimize the very hard work that we've put in to lay the foundation to really get some things changed in our city. So that's what I wanted to share today. That video is going around. No, he was not punching them out, none of that stuff. If you go to somebody's event and they say you can't be here, please leave. Just leave. But you don't get all in their face with your camera. That's assault right there, because you don't know if that person gonna throw that phone at you, okay? So whatever you have to do to get yourself out of that situation, that is fine. I'm really looking forward to how the discovery process comes out in this and how the other police reports are going to be written, because we have evidence of these people doing this over and 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 over again everywhere they go, all around the country. It was embarrassing for people to call me from DC and say, girl, I seen your people getting arrested at the White House. Who people? Oh, no, not mine, because we don't do that. And I'm telling everybody here, Chicagoans, we are very passionate about this city, but we have a lot of decorum and respect for ourselves. If you see people out here hollering, screaming, acting a fool, fighting, pushing, cussing, spitting, know for a fact that somebody paid them to get beat up like that.
Well, thank you, P. Ray. Thank you, P. Ray, as always. Girl, make sure you have those headphones with the plug next week with the cord. Don't need none of that fancy stuff. Stick to the basics. But thank you, P. Ray. Go follow P. Ray on Twitter X at Chicago Red P, and then donate and support her organization, chicagored.org.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.